What's good, YouTube? We're talking Auburn football, and in the Deep South, college football is king. And on the plains of Auburn, the battle cry is War Eagle. Once again, it's Casey to go for Vernon Speaks Sports. We're talking Auburn and SEC football like nobody's business. For the last couple of days, I've actually been on a Georgia kick. Georgia actually has the number 2 recruiting class of 2019, has aspirations to get Kirby Smart over the hump and actually get the Dogs their first national championship since 1980. It's going to be a rough ride, though, because you're talking starting out the season with Vanderbilt. I mean, it's an SEC game. I don't think Georgia loses this game under any stretch of the imagination. But then you got Notre Dame coming into town a couple of weeks later. I coined this as the iconic game for 2017. Very heroic victory for the Georgia Bulldogs back in that time. Georgia goes on to win the SEC championship, also seconds away from that coveted national championship that the Georgia fan base so desperately wants. It's going to be tough. You're talking a November that includes a trip to Auburn and welcoming what could be a very, very good Jimbo Fisher coached Texas A&M. We shift gears to Auburn this weekend. They call it the Big Cat Weekend, and a lot of people are wondering what in the holy heck is Big Cat Weekend for the Auburn Tigers. Well, back in 2009, the Auburn Tigers decided to have a conglomerate of recruits to come visit the Plains all at one time in an effort to get players to know the program, to get to know the coaches, and give players a hands-on perspective of Auburn University, the facilities, the coaching personalities, things of that nature. That thing's been going on for about 10 years, and it's definitely something that Auburn looks forward to every single year. A lot of times Auburn is able to get a lot of high-quality players because of this particular event. Like I said before, some of the top names in the recruiting for 2020 will be on hand for the Auburn Tigers as Auburn gets ready to get going for the 2019 season. But hey, recruiting is an ongoing thing, and of course, Auburn has to have a good recruiting class as far as offensive linemen go. You're talking everybody on the offensive line is going to be leaving after this year, and you talk about going into Big Cat Weekend. What a huge gain for the Tigers to pick up on what was a 3-star athlete, Javion Cohen, out of the local Central Phoenix City High School. Central Phoenix City, if you all don't know, is one of the staples in East Central Alabama. Just capping off a 2018 state championship, they have been regulars as regional champs for most of the 2000s. War Eagle, very, very good high school program in the state of Alabama. As a matter of fact, Justin Peters out of Clemson, who is a receiver there now, came from Central Alabama. We were introduced to him in the college football national championship game. So a lot of great players there. I kind of figured me and some of my admins from All About Auburn sports page on Facebook. By the way, if you are on Facebook and if you are an avid Auburn fan, I would suggest you join the All About Auburn Facebook page. But we were talking, and we just knew, looking at Javion Cohen on film, that he was, video footage, he was a 4-star player. I mean, I'm talking about middle tier 4-star player. Got great hands, very, very good with being aggressive, and he likes to finish plays. He likes to punish his opponent. Big get for the Auburn Tigers, War Eagle. Like I said before, this thing is going to be going on throughout the weekend. It's going to be very interesting to see who Auburn is able to get going, as far as maybe not a commitment, but actually have guys that were a little bit warmer on the Auburn program than they were prior to. I think this is a huge event for the Tigers, because what a lot of people don't understand with Auburn in their position, especially in the SEC, you're talking about being neighbors of Alabama. You're talking about being basically neighbors of Florida State and, Florida and Georgia. Auburn a lot of times doesn't have the national exposure as some of these hotbed type teams. Because if you think about the Auburn Tigers, probably at best, I think Auburn is regionally popular. They are known for Cam Newton, but as far as like having that notoriety like Michigan, Alabama, Miami back in the day, Ohio State teams, Georgia now, who has expanded well beyond regional popularity. Auburn actually needs events like these to bring players to Auburn to actually see what the perception, how they can perceive Auburn as a program. Take a look at the facilities, like I said before, and understand the culture of Auburn. As a matter of fact, once players understand the culture, they understand the history of where Auburn has been and the type of program that Auburn has, very, very active as far as being competitive in the SEC year in and year out, it can change some perceptions in that manner. We're going to wait to see what happens with this Big Cat weekend. A lot of guys on deck. We're going to see who winds up getting a little bit warmer or maybe even commit to the Auburn Tigers. Once again, it's K2 to go for Vernon Speaks Sports. Go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and comment in the comment section what you think and what you want Auburn to possibly accomplish from this Big Cat weekend. And last but not least, go ahead and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Auburn War Eagle.